You got a random punch Joe Budden in the mouth. I don't know that did that shit. That is a random who like my show. He actually DM me and say, y'all punch that in the mouth because I don't like what he said about you. Now, the thing is this. I didn't even suggest nobody to beat your ass yet. I'd get your ass beat off a suggestion. I could say, yo, Joe Budden need to get up and you'll start getting everywhere you go. You don't even realize that. But I don't got that type of hate in my heart. All I wanted that do was not speak about Combat Jack. You could talk about me. I'm here. I know that your strength comes from me being here. And I understand now that your strength comes from Combat being where he at. You're not going to be talking about people you can't reach and think arms not long. You're not going to do that. And I tell anyone on the internet, I'm not out here beefing with nobody. I'm on my pill. I'm Gucci. I'm chilling. I don't want to be in nobody's face. I'm going to come home. I don't want no beef with nobody. I never did. All I ever tell you, don't do it because I'm going to overdo it. Do not start it because I'm going to finish it. Do not touch me because when I touch you, you're not going to forget it. Every incident I got into on the internet, do anybody realize that these people touch me first?
Don't
I don't give a fuck what I say out my mouth. If you touch me, I'm going to touch you. Guess what? I just might touch you in a different place. I'm not here for that. I never promote. Yo, Joe, Ebro, all of them tell you because you know why? They all said something slick to me on the internet. And you know what I did when I seen them? I grabbed their hands like men. I say, yo, how you doing, man? I remember you said this, that, and the third. Do you still feel that way? And they all did not feel the same way. And you know what I let them do? I let them walk away because I have an agreement with God. And I told God, if a nigga don't want to die, he don't got to get killed. So when they tell me he don't want no beef, I wave the white flag. Nipsey, Slow Bucks, and them to tell you, LA, rest in peace, Nipsey. I told them niggas, call Meek Mill right now and tell that nigga I don't want no beef with him. I'm waving the white flag. Call him. I don't even hate Joe. I don't hate that nigga. Like, I don't hate
I
him.
just finished telling these people. I'm like, you
Don't
can't
talk about
handle
my
that.
son. My son dead. My son died from cancer. Him and Nore keep talking about like, I don't even got beef with Nore. Word of my mother, like Nore, I don't hate. I'm gonna smack the shit out of him when I see him. And if he get mad at that, then they be mad at that, and we don't gotta be friends. But if he all right with me smacking the shit out of him, then we could be friends after that. Because I don't really hate him, but I'm gonna smack the shit out of him.
I mean,
You
I
know what I
got
mean?
this with
Come
it.
on, man. They know what it is, bro. I be everywhere by myself. These be with 35 everywhere they go. And they always talking about, oh, you this and you that. Man, shut the fuck up, bro. I hang with women, bro. I hang with women and nerds. All my friends is tech geeks, man. I'm the only street around me. I don't got no fucking posse.
All right, what you just heard there was Taxstone go in on Joe Budden and Noriega. This was a big moment and one that I did not see coming. I was on a Twitter space. Rocky joined, and we all know Rocky has issues with Joe Budden, but push that to the side. Rocky said early in the space that she would have Taxstone join. I thought it was far fetched. I thought it was a reach. But lo and behold, one of the pioneers of urban podcasting would join us in a 3-hour conversation where he would go down and break up all of the history and his background in podcasting. And he talked about a lot of things, but some of the biggest things he talked about were his issues with Joe Budden, his issues with Ebro, and I think the other thing that was very notable was his pointing out of Queens Flip sacrificing his morals in terms of getting on that couch with Joe Budden, and even insinuated that Flip is only there because of his history with other people, not necessarily because Joe Budden wants him on the podcast. But that's a discussion for another day. What he was talking about here was how he confronted Joe largely because of the disrespect he feels that Joe has shown to Combat Jack. And by disrespect, I am largely talking about when Noriega joined the Joe Budden podcast and the two of them up there were just kind of talking about Loudspeakers Network in a disparaging way. And it seems like Taxstone took issue with that and started to note how, Combat Jack is not around. Combat Jack is somebody that he cares about deeply. If you don't remember, Combat Jack was one of the pioneers of urban podcasting. He was the person originally called Podfather in the space outside of Bill Simmons, who is the Podfather in another space. So it appears that Taxstone took issue with the way Joe Budden was disrespecting his legacy, at least from his point of view. You got to remember what Taxstone said in the space was that to the average listener, it did not look like Joe Budden was disrespecting Combat Jack, but to him, it felt as if he was disrespecting Combat Jack. So we all know, I was trying to do the science of what he meant about that, and I was thinking about guys like Queensflip saying that, sometimes Joe Budden will say things in a way that he's not dissing anyone openly, but to the people, to the trained ear that know about the history, it is a diss. And I largely think that is what Taxstone is talking about. And I wonder how Joe Budden and the rest of the team will respond. I largely think they probably won't respond directly to what Taxstone is saying, just because I feel like Taxstone obviously has some pull on the outside world. And further than that, I think that what Joe and Flip and them will do will probably be attack me and somehow use this as a rebuke of clip and monetization culture. I think that especially Joe, I feel like one of his ways to avoid accountability now is just to take the moral high ground, which I don't think he really can stand on, considering how he rose to the top of podcasting, and that is using friendships to leverage for entertainment or screaming on people. And I think he doesn't understand when other people are trying to make their own way. So what he does is he comes up with the entertainment value words, the buzzwords that'll help him ingratiate himself with his audience. And as a result, I believe that's what's coming. But nonetheless, we're making big waves, and I feel like this space will be something that reverberates around the industry, even if it doesn't do massive amount of views. The people who were around this will know what Taxstone is talking about. The people who were involved with podcasting will know what Taxstone is talking about. And I want to shout out to everybody who made this happen. I got to specifically shout out Rocky Thunder. She was the one that brought Taxstone on. She said she was going to bring Star on. I don't know. Star looks like a loosey-goosey kind of fella. I feel like Star will never appear on Space, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But just make sure to follow me on Twitter Spaces. Make sure to follow Rocky Thunder. I know a lot of people are going to say, "Wow, Danny, Rocky's got you in her clips." But not really. What it is just, it happened organically. I think people are going to be like, "Oh, Danny, you just mad because Joe called you a beta." Not really. This is kind of shocking. That beta stuff was really just a ploy for me to distance myself from having to feel like I needed to look out for the show, because I feel like that was making me too much of a person that looked like I was trying to ride for the Joe Budden podcast, when really that's not the case at all. I am someone who is supposed to report things the way I want to report them, and me being in spaces with Joe every night and him kind of curating the dialogue about who I am and what I do was not healthy for me. So when he made that beta comment, I thought it was a great way to distance myself from a dynamic that I don't think was fruitful for me. He's still welcome to come to my spaces and all of that, but I wanted to be the line. I wanted that to be the line of demarcation. All right, y'all, let me know what you think about this. It's a big deal. I know people are going to be clipping it up, so I'm getting to it right away. Follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.